Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. Got a video today from AntonDaniels. I saw the title of this story and it hits a little home for me, so I wanted to do it.
Good evening. With an unpaid $450 tab. Tonight, a Tomball nail salon is out hundreds of dollars after two customers spent hours being pampered and then just walked out.
Walked out. Police now trying to track them down. Michelle Choi speaking exclusively with the owners and explains how businesses can protect themselves.
Yeah, employees here at La Dulce Nail Spa tell me those two women actually sat in these two chairs getting what they call top-of-the-line services. But when it was time to pay, that's when they say things quickly escalated.
Okay. Yeah, so they were sitting here, number 8 and number 9, right here.
Owner An Lee says last Thursday, two women walked in, sat down, and asked for a manicure.
This is a nice nail shop. Very nice. Those are some very high-end chairs.
Manicure and pedicure each.
They get everything that the top of the service can get.
Racking up a total of about $450. But when it came time to pay, he says one woman claimed she needed to grab her credit card.
And one girl walked out the car first, and they get the car ready to turn around right here. And then one girl ran out from the store.
Outside security cameras capture that moment, showing a woman on the phone quickly walking out the front door and several employees running after her, trying to stop them.
I was shocked at first. You know, I never thought it was going to happen here.
Cell phone video captures what happened next.
Are we surprised?
I used to run a nail shop. I used to have a nail shop. It was in Pennsylvania, in Lancaster. I hate to be racist, but those are the only clients we were actually ever worried about. Were black clients. They were the loudest. They were the ones that always had the most issues with their services, their nails. And they were always the ones that tended to not want to pay. Right? Is it a racist thing for me to say all this? Maybe. But this is also through data. Right? Through literally sheer data. Because these were probably one of the only groups that did this in such a fashion and how often it was that we had to be wary of it. That's the problem, right? And it's not just the nail shop. I also remember I used to have a gas station, very similar. Not that we were only looking for black people that were stealing. We looked for everyone. In my gas station, we did not care what race you were. We just assumed you stole. Because we literally seen everybody steal from us. White people, Hispanic people, black people. So it did not matter what race you were. We would still somewhat follow you or like watch the cameras. And it was just funny. This was one time. One gentleman comes to us all the time. He's cool. And he sees a Hispanic guy go into the back. But then he sees my mom just automatically stop what she's doing and look up at the camera and look at the TV and just stalk that person as they're walking back there. And then he sees all this and he's just like, "Oh shit, it ain't just us black people." And I straight up told him, "No, dude, we do this to everyone, right?" But in the nail shop scenario, I was just like,
Are we surprised at what we see right here? I'm not surprised.
No. This portion of the video today is sponsored by Breath Death. When you're out there kicking butt in life, you don't want your breath to be kicking like Bruce Lee. Lots of people worry about how they present themselves, but they forget about their breaths. That's why I'm excited that today's video sponsor is Breath Death, the brand behind Crystal Breath. Exploding mint crystals that kill bad breath on impact that take your confidence to the next level. You know, these aren't your average mint or gum. No fake ingredients, no perfume masking, no endless chewing. Crystal Breath dissolves in seconds and actually destroys bad breath at the source. Powered by zinc, these mints attack sulfur deposits in your mouth that causes stink, so you're not covering it up, you're actually just killing it. And keeps you clinically fresh for up to 4 hours. You know, some people don't like the harsh, pure flavor of mint. I'm actually one of them, but it's awesome that they came out with a brand new product that was just lemon mint, which is actually a lot softer of a mint flavor and actually tastes better than the last mint, in my opinion. Lemony fresh! Because Breath Death is the sponsor of today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal. When you click the link down below or scan the QR code, you get an additional 10% off. It's an exclusive deal you won't find anywhere else, so hit the link so you can start your mission to kill bad breath.
For whatever reason, I don't know. And again, it's just a reinforcing of the stereotype. For whatever reason, I expected for it to be this. Bonnet Bay, eyelashes, making sure that we wear the footwear, the pajamas, the joggers, along with the...
Yeah, you can't even go to get a top-of-the-line service with nice clothes or normal clothes. You're in pajamas, you're in like sleeping footies or whatever they're called, shoes.
House slippers are supposed to be in a house. I mean, literally, you cannot make this up. This fits every single stereotype, because I've often said that stereotypes are not given, they are earned.
Correct.
It comes from an experience a lot of times that people endure through. And it's not just one way. There's stereotypes across all different cultures.
I mean, we talk about shitty drivers. Who do you think of when we think of shitty drivers? It's freaking Asians, and especially Asian women.
And when we see...
And they totally earned that stereotype. They totally did.
Businesses. I don't care how you feel about it. If you didn't like the business or you wasn't rocking with them, you should have never, ever, ever engaged in the business or went into the business to look for a service. But they went into the business, they looked for the service, and I don't even know why they blocking out the license plate, because if they escaped, and I'm not sure exactly what city this is, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research, but if they escaped, then their license plate should be available, because they should be held accountable for stealing from the business, and charges should be pressed against them for the fullest extent of the law, and they should be sued.
Agreed.
They should be forced to not only pay the business for the services that they received, but also should be required to give restitution, an additional amount, right? And then also they should have to face a judge for stealing in whatever county and whatever city and whatever state that they in. And I'm sick of it, honestly. And I know that there are a lot of other black people that are tired of it. They are sick of it. They don't like this. I don't like the fact that when I have to go into a place, I understand it because it's just the way that it is. And I have to separate myself from the culture. And the only way that you can really separate yourself from the culture is to be different in the presence of people. And I ain't even just talking about in the presence of other people. Even in the presence of black people, you have to be a representation of the thing that you want to see. And so
I say it all the time, guys. Like whenever a Asian woman or Asian guy comes online or we cover a video with them, what do I always say? You're making us look bad. I always say that. And then it's like, and then make us look good. I'm like, my Asian, like that's how everybody should be, because they are representations of you, even if you like them or not. They look like you. That's the biggest representation of you, is because they look like you.
So when I see things like this happening and playing out in real time, I have to take a pause for a second, because it upsets me. There's a lot of things. Contrary to popular belief, I am an emotional person. I think that we all have emotions. I don't let those emotions control me in making bad decisions that ultimately lend itself to things.
You guys see me? I get emotional in freaking video all the time. It's not easy to control your emotions 100% of the time.
Things that don't matter, right? And so, but when I see this type of stuff happening and I see this type of stuff playing out, it bothers me and it upsets me, because I then have to be an over deliverer of good culture or things when I'm operating out in the public. I can't operate like that. Forget the fact.
This is actually pretty. Cambodians are known to be very gangstery, very mobster types, very ghetto types. It's very similar for me. When I used to be that type, so it makes it even worse in a sense. But when I go to other Cambodians or go to other races or certain things, they look at me and they're already expecting me to be somewhat of a delinquent, somewhat of a gangstery type person. right? But when I'm cordial, I'm super nice, and then what do they say? It's like, damn, this is a nice Cambodian kid. They put the accolade of Cambodian kid in front because they're like, I don't usually meet Cambodian kids that are this well trained, well mannered, and things like that. So people do take notes of these things.
That I'm a public figure. Forget the fact that people may be recording. Forget the fact that cameras is on 100% of the time. I have to overly treat people better because I know that the expectation sometimes is for it to go that other way. Even
Correct.
other black people, and again, there's a difference between black culture and black people, because black people can be in black culture, but black people are not a monolith, right? Yeah. Culture is the thing that we promote the most. And most of the time it's something of negativity, right? And that's applicable across all different cultures. But in this particular instance, this is a woman or two women, right, that went in there and got more than $400 worth of services and had no intention on paying the entire time that they were there. That is egregious. That is disrespectful. That is absolutely bad. And I think that people, because see, you're not going to see the culture getting outraged at this type of thing. Now let a white person do it to a white bitch. Let somebody even perceive that there's a form of racism from somebody outside of black culture inside of a business, or with regard to somebody. You could be a black person going into somebody else's business. It could have been the other way around, right? These girls could have went into that business and then picked up their devices and their phones, and they could have started recording because they could have called the person racist or whatever, and it would have went viral.
True.
It would have went viral.
True. Trust me, guys. The racism card is very strong when it comes to these things
amongst black culture. But you're not going to see anything go viral that they don't like, because we see black people get killed on a regular basis inside of the culture. We see stealing. We see bonnet bay. We see disrespect. We see children being had out of wedlock at a rate that we should not be having. And nobody is outraged. Nobody is upset. You're not going to see Barack or Michelle Obama ever speak on that, because it doesn't help their book sales. It doesn't help the National Geographic documentary that he's about to be a part of again, or something like that. You're not going to see any outrage whatsoever, because it does not fit the agenda. Harsher penalties. I mean, they stealing, for God's sakes.
$450. Those are some expensive services. Like, that's hours of service that these ladies most likely had to do, cleaning their feet, doing all this. Pedicures and manicures is actually a decent amount of labor, guys. Especially when you're sitting down, crouching, like working on people's feet. And people's feet can be very heavy for these ladies. Again, I know these things because I used to run a nail shop. I dealt with this on a normal basis. Like, when certain customers came in, I just had to be a little bit more wary of those customers, because historically those customers always did bad things. Do they always do bad things? No. But when bad things happen, it's usually those types of customers. So, does that make sense?
Thieves. Stealing. If that is not the most degenerate, lowest hanging fruit, and they went there expecting to, they probably didn't even have no money they probably didn't even bring any money to pay at all. They
Correct.
Went there and got every single top-notch service that there is. And now, they're going to be requiring for people to put a credit card on file, or to put a reservation, or maybe you got to put your license up or something like that. And they're going to have to change their services because there are people that are degenerate inside of the culture that are performing and doing stuff like this.
Same woman tries to get into the car from the passenger side before climbing into the back seat, and the car takes off. The owner says at one point the driver allegedly threatened to hurt his employees.
My employee, they were shocked.
As a small business owner, how upsetting is this?
It was
enraging. It's not like we make that much money as small businesses. We're not major corporations. We can't take big losses like this and just not care about it. These employees that did the work, now they're out of money, that they didn't get other work during that time because they were busy working on these women, and they didn't get paid for. And that sucks. These people, this is people's living.
It's very upsetting for me because, you know, we work hard for this. In this Tomball area, it took me over a year to open.
Now, police are looking to identify the two women, including whether the gray Hyundai Elantra is connected to them and whether they may be linked to similar theft of service cases in the Houston area. Tomball police say there are steps businesses can take to protect themselves, including requiring payment up front, keeping a card on file, requiring ID, and using an electronic sign-in system.
That way that ensures that they've been identified, and in case they just decide they don't want to pay or whatever, then they'll at least have their information.
But one thing he stresses:
now, what should business owners or employees not do?
Never ever try to stop people that's fleeing from your business. It's too dangerous and it's too big of a risk for your safety.
It is a big
advice
risk.
Lee says he now shares with his staff.
Even though law is one point, but the safety is another thing. You know, that's the most important thing.
If you recognize those two women, you're asked to contact Tomball Police. Back to you.
Michelle, thank you.
This is so bad. It's unfortunate that we're still dealing with this. As far as the type of stereotypes that's being perpetuated against us in 2026 and going forward as of the recording of this video, but I have a feeling that it's not going to stop. You're not going to continue to see Bonnet Bay. The only thing I'm surprised at is that it's not happening inside of a Walmart or somewhere else inside of the hood. Now it's happening in nail salons, and this is not even the first time that we've seen this type of thing, like inside of a nail salon or something like that.
We've seen this happen, in Indonesia also, with 2 black women also.
Like that. It's bad. It's just bad. It's disrespectful. It's not ideal.
It's also a bad representation of your people.
Doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why somebody would wake up in the morning, contact a friend, and say, hey, let's go get $400 worth of services. And girl, I'm not paying. What do you mean you're not paying? What do you mean we walking out? What do you mean we just gonna go straight to the car? What do you mean you're gonna dine and dash? What do you mean you're not gonna pay your bill? What do you mean you're not gonna patronize a business? A business owner puts everything that they have into the businesses that they are opening to the general public, and they expect to be compensated fairly.
Anton's right. It costs a lot of money, a lot of time and effort, employees, your livelihood to start small businesses. Most small businesses are in the negatives for the first few years. So taking hits like this, they're not major corporations where they have a large shrinkage factor already built in. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And catch you guys next time.